The battle for Elaris. In the heart of the Elaris system, the war between the Earth Coalition and the Korethi Syndicate raged on. The lush, green planet of Elaris had been transformed into a battlefield, its once serene landscapes now scarred by the ravages of conflict. Amidst the chaos, Lieutenant Eva Morgan, a skilled human medic, was on a mission to save lives. The Korethi Syndicate, known for their ruthless tactics, had launched a devastating offensive on the Coalition's forward operating base. Eva, dressed in her combat medic gear, moved swiftly through the smoky haze, her eyes scanning for the wounded. The sounds of explosions and distant gunfire created a grim soundtrack to her efforts. Amid the wreckage, Eva spotted a Korethi child, barely visible beneath a tangle of debris. The child, a small Korethi girl named Lyra, was trapped and crying out for help. Eva's heart raced as she dashed towards the girl, dodging stray plasma blasts and crumbling structures. "Hang on, kid. I'm coming for you," Eva shouted over the din. With quick, practiced movements, she began to clear the debris, her hands working efficiently despite the dangers surrounding her. Lyra's cries grew weaker as Eva finally managed to free her from the rubble. The child's condition was dire. She had multiple injuries and was barely conscious. Eva's mind raced as she assessed Lyra's injuries. The girl had a deep gash on her leg and a head wound that required immediate attention. With no time to lose, Eva pulled out her portable medical kit and started treating Lyra's wounds, applying pressure bandages and administering painkillers. "Stay with me, Lyra," Eva said, her voice gentle yet firm. "Help is on the way. Just hold on a little longer." The urgency in her voice was palpable as she continued her efforts, despite the mounting danger around them. The battle raged on, and Eva knew she had to get Lyra to safety. As she prepared to move, a fellow medic, Sergeant Lucas James, appeared through the smoke. "Eva, we need to fall back. The Korethi are pushing hard on our position." "Not without her," Eva replied, determination in her eyes. With Lucas's help, she carefully lifted Lyra and began to navigate through the war-torn landscape, her focus unwavering. The path to the evacuation point was fraught with peril, but Eva's resolve was stronger than ever. The road to safety. Eva and Lucas moved through the wreckage-strewn streets of the Coalition base, their path illuminated by the distant flashes of explosions. The sound of gunfire grew louder, and Eva could feel the heat from nearby plasma blasts. As they ran, Eva's thoughts were solely on Lyra. The child's condition was deteriorating, and Eva knew they had to reach the Medevic point soon. They encountered a series of barricades and destroyed vehicles, each obstacle presenting a new challenge. "We're almost there," Lucas said, his voice a reassuring presence amidst the chaos. "Keep moving. We've got this." Eva nodded, her grit on Lyra firm but gentle. The girl's breathing was shallow, and her eyes fluttered as if struggling to stay awake. Eva could see the toll the battle had taken on her, and she felt a pang of guilt for not being able to do more. Just as they reached a narrow alleyway, a sudden explosion rocked the area, sending debris cascading down the street. Eva and Lucas ducked behind a nearby wall, their hearts racing as they waited for the dust to settle. "Is she okay?" Lucas asked, peering over the edge of the wall. "Just barely," Eva replied. "We need to get her out of here now." As the explosion's aftershocks subsided, Eva and Lucas continued their journey, moving with a renewed sense of urgency. They reached the evacuation point, a fortified area where medics and soldiers were working tirelessly to treat the wounded. Eva handed Lyra over to the medics, her own fatigue beginning to set in. She watched as the team quickly took Lyra into their care, their skilled hands working to stabilize her condition. Eva's heart ached as she saw the girl being whisked away, but she knew Lyra was in good hands. "Good work, Eva," Lucas said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You did everything you could." Eva took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. "Thanks, Lucas. I just hope she pulls through." A beacon of hope. In the days following the battle, the coalition medics worked around the clock to treat the wounded. Lyra's condition was critical, but she was a symbol of hope for both the coalition and the Korathi people. Her story had spread, and many were inspired by the bravery of those who had risked everything to save her. Ava found herself visiting Lyra regularly, checking on her progress and offering words of encouragement. Despite the language barrier, Ava and Lyra had formed a bond, their shared experiences creating a connection that transcended their differences. One day, as Ava entered the medical ward, she was greeted by a Korathi delegation. They had come to express their gratitude and to learn more about the medic who had saved one of their own. Lieutenant Morgan, the lead diplomat said, his voice solemn, "We have heard of your bravery. The Korathi people are deeply grateful for your actions." Ava bowed her head slightly. "I'm just glad I could help. Lyra is a brave child, and she deserves every chance at a future." The diplomat nodded, his expression one of respect. "Your actions have not only saved a life, but have also brought hope to our people. We are working towards peace, and your courage has inspired many to join this effort." As the diplomat spoke, Ava noticed a change in the atmosphere. The war-torn landscape was beginning to shift, with more Korathi and coalition forces working together to aid the wounded and rebuild what had been lost. Ava's visits to Lyra became a regular part of her routine, each day bringing a little more progress. The girl's condition improved steadily, and she began to regain her strength. The bond between Ava and Lyra grew stronger, with the medic sharing stories of her home and the girl responding with her own tales of the Korathi way of life. Unity amidst conflict. As the war continued, the efforts to reach a ceasefire gained momentum. The actions of individuals like Ava and the bravery of people like Lyra had ignited a spark of hope, leading to increased cooperation between the coalition and the Korathi. In a pivotal moment, representatives from both sides met to discuss a potential peace treaty. Ava was invited to speak, her experiences with Lyra, and her insights into the human-Korathi dynamic adding weight to the negotiations. During the talks, Ava spoke passionately about the need for compassion and understanding. "We've seen the best and worst of each other in this conflict," she said, "but we must remember that behind every uniform is a person who wants to live in peace. If we can extend our hand to those in need, we can build a future worth fighting for." The negotiations were intense, with many challenges to overcome. However, the stories of heroism and unity that had emerged from the battlefield began to shift perspectives. Both sides realized that their common humanity was worth more than the divisions that had once separated them. Ava's role in the peace process was instrumental, her commitment to saving lives and fostering understanding helping to bridge the gap between the coalition and the Korathi. As the treaty was signed, there was a palpable sense of relief and hope among the delegates. The new beginning. With the peace treaty signed, the focus shifted to rebuilding and healing. Ava continued to work with both coalition and Korathi teams, helping to facilitate the transition from war to peace. The rebuilding efforts were extensive, but the shared goal of creating a better future united the once warring factions. Lyra, now recovering well, became a symbol of the new era. Her presence at various events and gatherings was a testament to the progress that had been made. Ava and Lyra's bond remained strong, with the medic frequently visiting the girl and her family. One day, as Ava walked through a newly reconstructed part of Elaris, she encountered Lyra and her family. The girl's eyes sparkled with joy, and her mother's gratitude was evident. "Lieutenant Morgan, you've done more than just save my daughter," Lyra's mother said, her voice filled with emotion. "You've given us hope and a chance for a better future." Ava smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "I couldn't have done it without everyone working together. We've all played a part in this new beginning." As the coalition and Korathi worked side by side, rebuilding their world and healing the wounds of war, Ava knew that the journey was far from over. But the progress made was a testament to the power of unity and compassion. Legacy of peace months turned into years, and the efforts to maintain peace continued. Ava's role in the rebuilding process evolved, and she became a mentor for new medics, sharing her experiences and the lessons she had learned. Laura, now a young woman, had become an ambassador for peace, working to bridge gaps between different communities and promote understanding. Her journey from a wounded child to a symbol of hope was a powerful reminder of the difference one person could make. Ava and Lyra often worked together, their partnership serving as a beacon of what could be achieved through collaboration and empathy. The once bitter enemies had become allies, and the scars of war began to fade as new bonds were formed. One day, Ava and Lyra stood together at a ceremony commemorating the end of the conflict. The event was a celebration of peace and unity, and it was attended by representatives from both the coalition and the Korathi. As Ava looked out over the crowd, she felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The journey had been arduous, but the results were worth every effort. The story of Alaris had become a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of hope. The future awaits. With the peace between the coalition and the Korathi firmly established, the focus shifted to the future. The once divided planet of Alaris was now a symbol of what could be achieved when people worked together. Ava and Lyra continued their efforts, working on projects that promoted education, healthcare, and cultural exchange. Their work was a reflection of the new era, one where understanding and cooperation took precedence over conflict. As they looked out over a revitalized Alaris, Ava felt a sense of fulfillment. The challenges had been immense, but the progress made was a testament to the resilience and determination of both the coalition and the Korathi. The future was bright, and Ava knew that the story of Alaris would continue to inspire others. The lessons learned and the bonds forged would serve as a guiding light for future generations, reminding them that even in the darkest of times, there was always a path to hope and unity.